Hey there, retail investors. Today let's talk about a powerful strategy to protect your portfolio from short sellers' stock segregation. First things first, what is stock segregation? Well, it's a way to hold your shares so your broker can't lend them out. Why does this matter? If your shares are lent, they can be used for short selling against your position, creating downward pressure on the stock you own. Segregating shares means you have full control, and you're not unintentionally supporting short sellers. Let's dive into how brokerages lend your shares. If you have a margin account, brokers can usually lend your securities. They earn interest from short sellers who borrow them. This can lead to issues like fueling a short campaign against your stock, losing your voting rights, and getting dividends that are taxed differently. In extreme cases, broker bankruptcies or defaults from borrowers can complicate the return of your lent shares. Now, why do institutions benefit from this? Large short sellers and hedge funds need a steady supply of borrowed shares to short. This can push stock prices lower, harming retail investors. Brokers keep a significant portion of the lending fees, often without sharing them with you unless you join a lending program. That's more incentive for them to make your shares available. But here's the good news. Retail investors can fight back by refusing to lend their shares. If enough of us segregate our shares, the supply of shares available to short is reduced. This can raise borrowing costs for short sellers and restrict large-scale short selling. Remember the GameStop saga? It showed how excessive short interest can backfire when everyone's shares are readily available for lending. So, how can you request stock segregation? First, check your account type. Margin accounts allow lending by default, but switching to a cash account often prevents this. Next, opt out of any stock lending programs your broker offers. Contact your broker and explicitly request that your shares not be lent out. Use separate accounts if you need margin, and keep your main holdings in a cash account. Finally, check your monthly statements to ensure your shares aren't being lent. Some brokers support no-lend policies better than others. Fidelity, Schwab, and E*Trade generally don't lend fully paid shares unless you opt in. Interactive Brokers lend shares in margin accounts by default, but you can use a cash account to avoid this. Robinhood and Webull automatically lend margin shares, but you can opt out with Webull or switch to a cash account with Robinhood. Public.com offers an opt-out setting to stop share lending. What are the potential impacts of stock segregation? Heavy shorting can drive prices down. By segregating shares, you reduce the pool available for shorting, potentially stabilizing or increasing prices. You retain your voting rights and qualify for normal dividends. And by keeping shares from short sellers, you can mitigate aggressive attacks on the stock. If many retail traders segregate shares, it forces short sellers to pay higher borrowing fees or reduce their short positions. To beat Wall Street tactics, stay informed. Read brokerage agreements carefully, confirm your account type, and check if lending is enabled. Choose brokers that don't lend shares unless you expressly allow it or make opting out easy. Direct registration, DRS, is another strategy to ensure shares can't be lent, though it's less liquid and better for long-term holds. When large groups of retail shareholders collectively refuse to lend, short sellers lose easy share supply. The key takeaway? Stock segregation is a powerful strategy for retail investors. By ensuring your shares aren't being lent out, you protect your positions from downward pressure caused by short sellers, retain all shareholder rights, and contribute to a market dynamic less dominated by large institutions. Both beginners and experienced traders can benefit from implementing segregation and leveling the playing field against Wall Street's short-selling machine. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tips on how to protect and grow your investments. Catch you next time.